So you want to find your coaching niche. Well, I'm going to help you do that in this video. Get ready. Everybody's talking about how the riches are in the niches, or the niches, I guess. And I remember hearing that phrase when I'd first started my consulting and coaching practice and being like, what is mine? I just don't know what it is. And I really struggled with that question. I don't know if you're like me, but I felt like I was good at so many different things and I was interested in so many different things that I couldn't possibly narrow it down to just one thing. So I resisted it for years. And I'll tell you now, in hindsight, now that I have my niche and now that I know how to put it together, I wish I'd done it sooner. Sometimes it's really obvious and easy for people. Some people right away, they know exactly what they want to do. They know exactly who they want to do it for. I'll give you an example. I have my client named Julie. Julie Gutzinger is a money mindset coach. She's an intuitive money mindset coach. So specific, and even more specific, her sweet spot, the people that she works with, are mainly photographers. It doesn't get any easier for her to market and sell her products and services because she knows exactly who she's for. She knows where to find them. She has pockets of friends in this category. She has relationships with associations. It's so much easier for her to find clients than it is for a generalist. And so I know it's not the easiest thing to go ahead and stake your claim and say, I'm going to work with these people. But I do know that especially if you're wanting to promote your coaching services online, it's absolutely necessary to narrow down your focus and find your niche. So if you're struggling with this, not to worry, because I've found out, I'm going to take you over to my handy dandy flip chart and share with you my 3-part formula to finding your niche. I hope that this really helps you to narrow it down, be able to find that space in the market that you can own. Ready? So your superstar sweet spot is basically the intersection of 3 important things. And I really do recommend doing them in the order that I present them. All right. So the first thing to consider for your superstar sweet spot is you. When I talk about you, I'm talking about what I call the pits. The pits are your passions, your interests, and your talents. Basically, the pits are the things that light you up, the things that you enjoy doing. Now, the reason this is so important is because it's entirely possible to build a quote-unquote successful business without this. Yeah, you could build something that makes money, that you could sell someday, but the sacrifice that you'd be making is all the years that you spend building it. You'd be sacrificing your life in the process because you're not doing something that you enjoy and that lights you up. So often people start finding their niche based on what they think they can sell versus what they really truly are on this planet to do. So I like to start with your passions, interests, talents, and I'm going to add a bonus one in here as well. Your purpose. Why are you here? What is the reason you believe you are alive on this planet in this time? The second piece of the superstar sweet spot diagram is the business. Now, what I mean by the business, especially if you don't have a business yet, is essentially your unique value proposition and your signature system. Meaning, and these are things that you might figure out as you go and tweak and evolve, but essentially it's the problem that you are the best person to solve. So when you look at your business, you're also looking at, all right, what is it that what you have experience in? What have you built up skills for? This is more what's acquired that you can execute versus what's innate, what you're born with, these passions, interests, and talents. So you and the business is that external thing where you can add the most value to the market. Okay, so what we're looking at in this third piece, the market, is what's the gap in the marketplace? What's the opportunity, right? Is there a market for what you're offering that you enjoy delivering, right? So where do these 3 things interact? I'm going to switch colors and highlight the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot. spot that we're looking for, where these three things interact, where you, the business, and the market are all firing in the same direction. Now, if this is intriguing to you and this is helping you move in the right direction, then I highly encourage you to check out some of my videos about branding, where I go much deeper into developing your positioning and your niche. So check out my branding videos, my thought leadership videos, to really identify what your superstar sweet spot is. Now, once you've done this work and this exercise, the next thing to look at is past clients. So I'm guessing that maybe you have past clients, maybe you don't, but you've done work in the past that's been successful. So I'd like you to think about who you've worked with, who you've worked for, and the results you've delivered to those people. And go through, make a list of all those clients that you can remember, and highlight or circle the ones you've loved the most. Once you have a short list of names, maybe 3, maybe 5 names of your absolute favorite best clients, what I want you to look at is, what's the solution? What's the value that I delivered to that client? Did I enjoy it? Was it joyful? Was it energy rich for me to do that work? If I called that client up now, if I called that colleague or whoever I did the work for now, what would they say about the work that I did for them? Like, I want you to take this opportunity to really dive deep and be honest with yourself, both about your gifts and your strengths and what you created, and also about the not so pretty parts. Like, what didn't you like? Where was it difficult? Where was it hard? Where was it challenging? Really give yourself a moment or a few moments to go back in time and examine past experiences. And the reason it's important to do this is because so seldom do we go back and do a post-mortem of past work and past clients and past jobs. So go back and look at, what did you enjoy most? What really brought you the most joy? And what would you like to do more of as you look at identifying your niche? So now I'm going to give you an example of the power of doing this work, of doing this exercise. This is an exercise, or some version of it, much deeper, that I do in my own retreats with my own clients, okay? Now, in a retreat with a client one time, this one woman, she had just completed a few months before her hypnosis certification program. She had just become a certified hypnotist. And of course, like most people, she said, well, I can help anybody. I can help people lose weight. I can help people stop smoking. I can help people do this and that. And then she goes, oh, and I said, well, what's your favorite thing? What do you love to do the most? Remember, we're talking about the superstar sweet spot. So we're looking at what that part, who, right? What do you enjoy the most? What's your passion? So she says, well, the thing I've loved the most is working with an old woman. She's a widow. She just lost her husband. She spent 60 years with this man, and all of a sudden he's gone from her life. She thought her life was over. So I helped her with hypnosis to find joy and meaning in her life again. I said, ding, 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 that smells like a niche to me. Is that something you'd like to do more of? And she said, absolutely, I would love to do more of that work. It lights me up. It brings me great joy. Let's go back over to the drawing board. I said, are you any good at it? Is this something you could replicate again and again? If I put you in front of people with grief and loss, could you always deliver a result of more joy? She said, I think I could for the most part. And I said, can you determine who are the clients that are going to get a good outcome? She said, absolutely. I have ways to see if somebody's going to be responsive to hypnosis. So I said, perfect. Now let's look at item number 3. Is there a gap in the market? Is there an opportunity? She says, well, I think people are dying all the time, and I think that people experience grief and loss all the time. Everybody goes through it at some point. So yeah, I would say that there's a market opportunity. So there we have it. We found her superstar sweet spot. She loves doing it. She knows how to do it well, she can get good results, and there's definitely an opportunity in the market. So what we did is we focused in her hypnosis practice on helping people who've experienced sudden loss and are struggling with grief. And the moment she announced that out in the world, all of a sudden people were like, I know somebody, I can send you to my mom and my dad, and all these people who just experienced sudden loss, who have grief and want to find joy and love and meaning in their lives again. And so that's what she did. So now think about, what's your superstar sweet spot? And I invite you that if you're struggling with this concept, check out my Monetize Your Magic Playbook. You can get it for free by going to monetizeyourmagicplaybook.com, or you can just click on the link below. Enjoy.